Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. I am back making videos again for the first time in about a month, I would say. The NFL season has come around about 2 weeks ago. It is already starting week 3 as of yesterday, but I wanted to start off the season with making a reaction to the first week of the NFL season, and I wanted to get back in the swing of things by quickly posting week 1 and week 2 in the next couple days so I can, get back on track and get week 3 done by about Wednesday or Thursday, depending on how I want to do it. The NFL is back upon us once again. The opening game was 2 weeks ago, and it was between the Dallas Cowboys and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This game, the defending Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the America's team, the Dallas Cowboys, in a game that was pretty well played by both teams and was very, very fun to watch. It ended with a game-winning field goal by none other than undrafted kicker Ryan Succop to win the game for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And the Dallas Cowboys almost came back and almost won the game after being down about a maximum, I think it was about 8 points in the entire game, or maybe it was more, I'm not sure, but the game was very, very close, no more than 2 scores at any point, and the Cowboys were able to get a good few drives going into the fourth quarter and were able to get a 1-point lead in the final minute, and they were able to almost come away with the victory against Tom Brady and the Bucs, but unfortunately lost with a game-winning field goal. Like I said, all around this game was very, very well played for both teams. Tampa Bay, Tom Brady had 4 touchdowns. He did have 2 interceptions. One of them wasn't his fault, but still played very, very well. Dak Prescott, coming off this severe ankle injury and his shoulder injury that came into this week, he also played very, very well, having 3 touchdowns and interception, if I'm not mistaken. All around, great game for him too. Both teams played very, very well and was a very, very enjoyable game. Then on Sunday, I'm going to be speed running these games because there's about 11 of them throughout this week. First I'm going to start off with is my team, the Seattle Seahawks versus the Indianapolis Colts. Russell Wilson had 4 touchdowns. Tyler Lockett had 2 of them. DK Metcalf had a touchdown. This game was all around very, very well played for Seattle. Their defense was very, very good, and they were able to contain Carson Wentz and the Colts and their offense, and such as Jonathan Taylor not having that many rushing yards and Carson Wentz being sacked several times. That defense for the Colts, though, was not very good, allowing plenty of big plays for Russell Wilson and Tyler Lockett and all the other offensive players, and unfortunately that cost them, and they are now 0-1 on the season, and Seattle is 1-0. The Jacksonville Jaguars and the Texans, Trevor Lawrence was not very good. He threw 3 touchdowns and 3 interceptions in his debut, and Urban Meyer was clearly not experienced enough to understand how to properly play against the team that's in the NFL level, because college it's a little bit easier, but in the NFL level it's a lot more difficult, and unfortunately this first game was a sort of learning curve for them, and they need to now win the next few games because week 2 happened. I'm not going to say what happened, but week 2 happened and they're going to need to get back on track. Tyrod Taylor was very, very good for the Texans, playing pretty average in that position. Deshaun Watson isn't going to be playing in the near future. He's still inactive on the team, and they were able to get the first win of the season, which is something that nobody expected. Eagles-Falcons. Eagles destroyed the Falcons. Falcons did not play well. Jalen Hurts played pretty good. He wasn't that terrible. They scored 30 points on the Falcons. Devonta Smith had a touchdown in his debut. All around, great game for the Eagles and not for the Falcons. Chargers were able to beat Washington in Washington. Herbert was a great game for him. Keenan Allen had a pretty good game, and all around the passing offense was very, very good for them. Washington was very underwhelming. Ryan Fitzpatrick came down with a hip injury in one of his first few drives in the second quarter, and Taylor Heinicke had to come in and wasn't terrible for them. The defense wasn't good for them, and that costed them the win. The Steelers and Bills, huge upset. The Steelers beat the Bills in Buffalo for Buffalo's first loss of the season. The Bills were not good this game. Josh Allen did not look like what he was last year, and the Steelers' pass rush was spectacular. Their defense was very, very good. Their offense, on the other hand, it was a little underwhelming. With the amount of stops that they were given, they were only able to put up around 20 points, 23 points in that game, which isn't terrible, but still not very good. 49ers and Lions, it's the 49ers versus the Lions. What do you think is going to happen? The 49ers were able to beat the Lions 41-33. And we're almost going to blow it, but unfortunately Jared Goff wasn't able to beat the 49ers like he did last year. The 49ers were able to just destroy with so many points that they couldn't come back in enough time. Bengals and Vikings, Bengals won in an OT off of a field goal, played very, very well. The Vikings blew it. They had so much possession. There were several possession changes throughout that overtime, and unfortunately they fumbled with not a lot of time remaining in overtime, and the Bengals were able to drive down and kick a game-winning field goal. Kirk Cousins played well. He always plays well in losses. The Bengals are the Bengals. They played pretty well. Joe Burrow was okay, and all around this was a game that wasn't very notable for both teams. Jets and Panthers is another game that really wasn't very notable, and the Sam Darnold got revenge on his old team. Zach Wilson did not play well. The Panthers all around had an okay offense. It's pretty okay. Sam Darnold had a rushing touchdown in this game, if I'm not mistaken, and they were able to win the game. They were just pretty good. Zach Wilson did not play well, and that led to the Panthers winning. Cardinals and Titans, the Titans were destroyed. The Cardinals played so very well, with Kyle having 4 passing touchdowns and a rushing touchdown. The offense was insane, and the Titans just were very underwhelming and just completely shocked from the first quarter. They were just completely destroyed. Browns and Chiefs, the Chiefs were able to win after coming back down, if I'm not mistaken, 13 points or 12 points, 2 touchdowns, and they were able to win. The Browns unfortunately collapsed in the fourth quarter, and they let Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, and that entire explosive offense to end up getting them their first win, and the Browns losing their first game of the season. Their defense was okay. The offense for the Chiefs was very, very good, but both teams had amazing offenses, and unfortunately the Browns ended up losing. Broncos and Giants, this game was crazy for the Broncos and not so crazy for the Giants, as the Broncos were playing very, very well with Teddy Bridgewater and Melvin Gordon. A team that you didn't expect to win did win. The Giants did not play well whatsoever. Their offense was stagnant. Their defense was terrible, and unfortunately it costed them. Dolphins and Patriots, the Dolphins stunned the New England Patriots with a 1-point victory in New England, and unfortunately the Mac Jones, Tom Brady comparisons have kept going, because they still think he's going to be like Tom Brady. I think you can't be like Tom Brady. You can be close, but you can't be like him. And unfortunately, this game wasn't terrible for him, but they did end up losing, and the Dolphins get their first win of the season. Packers and Saints, this game was the biggest upset of the week in my opinion, as the Packers with MVP Aaron Rodgers got destroyed by Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston had 5 passing touchdowns this game with only 160 yards, and all around the Packers offense and defense was terrible. Aaron Rodgers had 2 interceptions and no touchdowns. All around, not a good game for him, and unfortunately they were sort of just destroyed. They were just blatantly, just all around destroyed. Rams and Bears, Matthew Stafford exacted his revenge on the Bears once again. Stafford played very, very well against the Bears this game, had almost a perfect passer rating, had 1 incompletion, had 3 touchdowns if I'm not mistaken, and was just all around very, very good for the Rams. The Bears did not play well, and the Dalton was terrible. Justin Fields was okay, and the Bears defense was not. All around, not a good game for the Bears, and a very good game for the Rams. And finally, on Monday night, the Ravens versus the Raiders. The Ravens had a pretty significant lead, a 10-point lead going into the fourth quarter, and unfortunately blew it after allowing 10 points in the fourth quarter going into overtime. The Raiders drive all the way down the field on their first possession, throw a pick on the 1-yard line. Ravens get the ball, fumble, and then the Raiders get the ball back and get a touchdown on the third possession, and they were able to win. So all around, this game was very, very enjoyable to watch, but for the Ravens, it was not a good game in that fourth quarter and overtime. Raiders played pretty well. Derek Carr was very, very good, and that helped them get the win. Their rushing game wasn't very prominent, but it is what it is. They got the win, and they played very well against a pretty good opponent in the Ravens. And that is week 1. There's really nothing else to say. I sort of sped ran through all the games there. If you didn't understand what I was saying, it's because I was talking too fast. But yeah, I'm going to be doing a week 2 video in the next few days just to get that done. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video. I'm just going to keep doing like this type of style for these next few weeks. And if I want to keep it, then I keep it. If I don't, then I don't. It is what it is. Hopefully you're excited for the next few weeks of the season. Already, like I said, it's week 3. And if your team's 0-2, that sucks. If your team's 1-1, that also sucks. If your team is 2-0, that's good for you. But there's still plenty more weeks of the season, 14 more weeks, and hopefully all those 14 weeks will be very, very fun, just like week 1 and week 2. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed. Like and subscribe, and that's about it. See ya.